Hi, it's Whitten Churchill with the Barefoot Consultants, and I'd like to welcome you to our Facebook Friday. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the changes that have occurred over the last year in the world of freelancing, and lots of very good news and very interesting ways of looking at the marketplace and the role that freelancers are playing in the world. I live with this every day, and when I talk to people that don't know much about freelancing, they think it's kind of a little quirky little sideline that a few people do, and as opposed to the huge force it is in the economy of the world. But before we get started, we'd like to welcome all of those of you participating now live, and also those of you that are participating on the playback. We find that 95% of the people that watch this watch it on the playback, and we're glad to have you, and good to see you. And we monitor the chat, so if you're watching this as a replay, always like to know where you're watching it from, and any questions you have, we'll answer those even if this is after the live event. And for those of you on the live event, if you would hit the like button, that'd be great for us. It helps us share this message with a broader number of folks out there, and that's always a good thing. That's kind of the way Google works, is the more people that like it when they see it the first time, like it, the more it goes out to other people with similar interests. So that is a wonderful thing. Let's see here. So one of the articles that I ran across this week that was very interesting is it asked the question, how big would freelancers be if freelancers were a country? So if you took all the freelancers around the world, hi Bob, how you doing there? Good to see you. If you looked at all the freelancers around the world, how big a country would that be? And so I'm going to share this with you as soon as I can punch up a few buttons here. And we will get to a Chrome tab. And here we go. So here's the article. If freelancers were a country, and let me put the link in the chat area here. 1 second. Go back to this. There we go. There's the link. Hey, Randy, how you doing? Second shot. Woo-hoo. That's great. Yeah, good to see that. Excellent. All righty. We'll get back to our page here. Just 1 second. Because these are just some stunning statistics. So what they did is they looked at freelancers by the population. You know, if you add up all the freelancers in the world, what size country would that be? And if you add up their earnings, what size country would that be? And then their earnings per capita, which these numbers kind of here fall off. They're not quite as interesting. They're hard to wrap your head around. But the first two are very easy to wrap your head around, and just in population. Now, before I pop that up, for those of you that are listening live, let me just go back to the live. Oh, there I am. Okay. How many, and I'll type this in, how many freelancers worldwide? Just type a number in there. If you just take a wild guess, how many freelancers worldwide are there around the world? You know, we know we have about, let's see, 57 million in the US from the Freelancers Union study that's done every year. And if you have a guess at how many freelancers there are worldwide, be sure and pop that in the chat window. We'll take a look, see if we got anything. All right. And so we'll go back to the big reveal here. All right. We're going to scroll down. So here's the estimate. There's 162 million independent workers in the US and Europe, according to McKinsey, the famous management firm. If you can add the millions more throughout Canada and Southeast Asia, you can reasonably estimate there are 200 million freelancers globally at least. And if freelancers were a country, that would make them the 8th largest country in the world out of 195 countries. Just that's how many countries there are. So we would be behind China, behind India, the two most populous countries. And that number there is their total population. If you're looking at that chart, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger here. There we go. And so you can see the population of China is almost 1.4 billion. The population of India is 1.3. United States is about 330. Indonesia, 272. Pakistan, Nigeria, Brazil. And so freelancers would be 200 million folks, and the 8th largest country, if they were all together, bigger than Bangladesh, and interestingly, bigger than the entire population of Russia by about, what would that be, 58 million. So very interesting number to pop up there. Even more interesting in my mind is the gross GDP. This is basically how much money do freelancers contribute to the world, and this is making an extrapolation of about $4.2 trillion that is paid to freelancers around the world. And so that would put the GDP earnings would make the freelance economy the 4th largest economy in the world, with the United States being number 1, China being number 2, Japan being number 3. So 4th largest economy in the world. Just stunning numbers. Numbers I didn't realize. I kind of knew the United States numbers. I knew it was big, but it was incredible to see that that group of folks. And Tom, yes, that was a very good guess. But as they looked at all the nooks and crannies, they found that there were a lot more than they thought. When they pulled together the reports that survey the different parts of the world and pull all that together. And so this is a couple ways to look at the population of freelancers and what they're doing. And another way to look at that is look at the companies that are involved in freelancing and see how they've changed in the last year. So as we look at this chart of Upwork's stock, last year on March 12th, their shares were trading at $7.26 a share. Today, they're trading at $47.85 a share. And in the last month have traded as high as $56.42 a share. So, the stock market is its own animal. You can look at this and everybody will draw different conclusions. But what this says to me is that investors believe that Upwork is going to do very well coming out of the pandemic, and that's what this would point out. There's one other freelancing stock of a company based in, let's see, I don't know if you're seeing that. Let me make sure I got that on the right little thing here. No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. There's the Upwork stock price. Okay, so here we go. This will make more sense now that you can see it. So yes, a year ago today, $7.26. Today, $47.85. You know, not many of us have seen a stock grow that quickly in our lifetimes. This is pretty remarkable. If you have owned stocks over the years and seen different growth patterns and see that, you know, this is something on a 7x, 7 times the stock price at the beginning of the year. Very, very good. And so let's go back to StreamYard and pull that off the stream. And let's take a look at another. Let's see here. There we go. Another stock that's kind of interesting in the freelancing space, a company called Fiverr. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Fiverr over the years. They've been around a while. They're based in Israel. And a year ago today, you could buy a share of their stock for $23. And today, you could buy a share of their stock for $241. And, you know, so what's that? 10 times the price, basically. 23, 82, 24, say, up to 240, almost exactly 10 times the value in the stock. So the world of freelancing, the savvy investors are seem to be going pretty heavy into the world of freelancing. And I was showing this to somebody the other day and said, yeah, but their stock went up to $320 a share. So it was up much higher. Look how much it fell off. Well, if you follow stocks at all, you know, gosh, let me make sure I'm showing you the right screen here. Yeah. Okay. If you follow stocks at all, you know that stocks go up in kind of a seesaw pattern. They go up and then they flatten out and then they go up. And especially when they go up a lot, they fall back immediately. Then they go up some more, then they fall back. But the fallback is you know, usually the trend is upward if we do the trend line of this. So yes, Fiverr has fallen off a lot, but they're still 10 times higher than they were a year ago. So very interesting dynamic, and in my mind speaks to the strength of the freelance industry. Now, the other thing to think about is that, you know, in some ways it's hard to categorize the freelance industry. It is, of course, freelancing, and those are people that work for companies, ad companies. Like if you have a graphic artist come in to do artwork for your company 2 or 3 times a year, that would be, you know, an example of that. If you have workers that come in at certain times of the year, they don't work the whole year. They might work for the 2 months in the fall and maybe around the Christmas season. Those would be freelancers. They're in the US, they're 1099 employees. But the other kind of freelancers that we're seeing much more of are freelancers that are telecommuting. You know, there's basically 5 new terms in the world of freelancing that sort of sweep up these freelancer kind of folks. So you have freelancers, you have telecommuters, which has grown tremendously in the last last year, really. You have people that work from home. Now that's been around for a while, but it went from a very tiny part of the population up to a really big part of the population. 90-95% of people were working from home. Essential workers were not working from home, but so delivery people and medical people and groups there. But man, the rest of us certainly were. And so there are remote employees now. There are remote freelancers now. And in the last year, we've really had an education on what working at home is all about. And now, I had the good fortune to get my second shot like Tom did. And, thinking that, wow, this is great. I got vaccinated, and then find out that, well, not so fast, partner. You really need to keep wearing a mask, and you really need to not be going out, and you really need to not get on the airlines, and you really need to not travel, and you really shouldn't stay in a hotel because you could still get it, and it's interesting how that promise has changed a little bit about what the vaccine was going to do for us. But I think that what it's going to do for us is it's going to put us at herd immunity somewhere along the way, where when more than 70% of people have the vaccine, then things will be more normal. And certainly, although I was looking forward to jetting back to Mexico and jetting out to California and getting back on the road, it looks like that's not going to happen for another 3 or 4 months anyway. So, but it's okay. We've come this far. Tomorrow's my 1-year anniversary. I left Mexico on a 10-day business trip to the United States today, and landed in Dallas and got to my hotel. And on the news, they said, hey, we're locking down tomorrow. I think that's about how it went. I may be a day off, something like that. But yeah, that's what happened. And so the rest of my life for the past year has been looking at how I can get back to Mexico, and certainly not time to do that yet because they're behind the U.S. in terms of their vaccinations by quite a lot. And so you don't want to sort of jump out of the fire into the frying pan. And in fact, you can't get a visa if you live in Mexico. You can't get a visa. If you go to a resort in Mexico, you can get a visa because they realize it's for a relatively short period of time, and they only let you go to certain hotels and resorts where they can control the density there. So some might be open at 25%, some might be open at 50%, some might even be open at 100%, but they just have a lot more control when you're in that environment than just sort of wandering around the country and living your life if you own a place there, that kind of thing. So lots of interesting wrinkles there. So and I know Bob's probably thinking about the same kind of thing. I talked to one of our other members who got their second shot and started applying for their visas and found out no can do, very restricted. It looks like you could, maybe if you fly to San Diego and sneak across the border, you might be able to jump on an airplane in Tijuana, that kind of thing, but very restrictive. It's still restricted to essential workers and that kind of thing. So certainly one of the things we've learned through all of this is that online freelancing, remote work is pretty much here to stay. We see companies telling their employees, you don't have to come back to work for a year. Plan on not working in the office for a year, that kind of thing. And as we do, we're getting all these great new tools to work with online, and Zoom is one of them. And even though Zoom was around a year ago, we've been a year ago, we'd already been using Zoom for 4.5 years. So we were well into the use of Zoom by that time. But now Zoom is making improvements to their system. They have rooms so you can have a big conference, and then people can split up or into rooms and have private conversations and that kind of thing. So lots of good stuff going on. And then there's lots of new tools coming on the market that will make the experience even better. So looking forward to all of that. So again, for those of you that have joined us live, thanks. We appreciate that. And if you'd go ahead and hit the like button, that'll help spread the message. And for those of you that are listening to this as a playback, we encourage you to hit the like button as well. And also that helps us spread the word, help get information out there, especially to baby boomers, people that are 50 years old and above, who are, in many ways much more restricted from going back out into the workplace, and probably will be working from home for much of their career. Help us spread the word to them. So we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. For all our members that are on this call, we're going to have lots of good stuff to talk about on Tuesday night. And then for those that are not in our programs, you can go here to this link and get to know a little bit more about what we do and see some of the programs that are available for you to help you take a step into this world of freelancing and remote work. We're in our, in our 14th year of helping people work online. So we've got lots of experience, and I say helping people, but it's really been helping baby boomers. That's who we concentrate on. That's who we can do the best job for, because we know and understand how to take your past experience and fashion it in a way that makes the most sense to people that are buying freelance services today, and get you moving quickly into the world of freelancing. So yes, Tom, thank you for that. Good luck, and same to you as well. Hope all is well with you, and appreciate all those kind words. It's always good to hear that, and wishing you well as you go forward. And Robert down there in Roatan, and hope the diving is good and you've got lots of clear water. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody soon. Take care.